Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to study the remaining 22 mark question from the unit 1, the discrete Fourier transform. Okay, so already we discussed the first 22 mark question in the previous video. If you want to learn that video means I will give link in the description box, you can refer it. Okay, so in previous video we discussed the DFT, how to find the 4-point DFT problems, then properties of DFT, then what is the advantages of FFT over DFT, and how many computations required in order to perform the endpoint DFT in radix 2 FFT we discussed. So now we are going to see the remaining 20 questions. So the first question, you see, what is FFT? So FFT means, fast Fourier transform algorithm. So the fast Fourier transform, it's a special algorithm developed to compute DFT quickly. So this FFT algorithm is also used to compute the DFT answer, but in a fastest manner. Okay, so instead of using the direct evaluation method, that is the DFT formula we discussed, and using that formula also we can solve some problems. So instead of that method, if we want to find the DFT of the given sequence x of n in a fastest manner, we have to use the algorithm. It is called as a fast Fourier transform. Okay, it's a special algorithm developed to compute DFT quickly. And these algorithms exploit the periodicity and symmetry properties of Twiddle factor. So this algorithm, it utilizes already the Twiddle factor Wn is having the two property, periodicity property and symmetry property. That property, using that property, we are developing this algorithm. Hence, the DFT is computed fast using such algorithm compared to direct computation. Okay, so these algorithms are collectively called as fast Fourier transform, and they are very efficient in terms of computation. So this algorithm is very efficient. Why this is efficient means, so if you want to find some 8-point DFT means in direct evaluation method, so the number of multiplication needed is n squared. Okay, but in this case, the number of multiplication and addition required is automatically reduced by the amount n log base 2n or n by 2 log base 2n. Okay, so the number of additions and complex multiplication required in order to perform DFT in FFT algorithm is very, very less when compared to direct evaluation method. Okay, so that is the advantage of FFT. And the next one, what is mean by radix 2 FFT? So the FFT algorithm is otherwise called as radix 2 FFT. So why it is radix 2 means, so already the FFT algorithm is more efficient in calculating the endpoint DFT. Okay, if the number of output points, capital N, can be expressed as a power of 2 means power of 2. So in this, so we may calculate 2.8 FFT, 4.8 point, 16 point, 32 point, and 64, 128, and so on. Okay, so that 8, 4, 16, 22, it is said to be N. So that capital N we have to express in terms of 2 to the power. Okay, so 8 means 2 to the power 3, 4 means 2 to the power 2. Okay, so the number of output points can be expressed as a power of 2. That is capital N equal to 2 to the power m. Okay, where m is an integer, m is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Then this algorithm is known as radix 2 algorithm. So that's why this fast Fourier transform algorithm we are referring to as a radix 2. So why radix 2 means the number of output points, capital N, can be expressed as a power of 2. Okay, so that's why the FFT algorithm is otherwise called as radix 2 FFT. Okay, so it is also one of the university question. And the next thing, draw the basic butterfly diagram of radix 2 dit FFT and diff FFT. So in FFT algorithm there are two methods, two types are there. One is decimation in time FFT algorithm, another one is decimation in frequency FFT algorithm. So we have here the question is draw the basic butterfly diagram of radix 2 dit FFT and diff FFT. Okay, so you see this question is 2006, 7, 8, 11 and December 2011 and 13 question. Okay, so this is the butterfly diagram of radix to dit FFT. This is the radix to diff FFT. So here the 2 point, the basic butterfly diagram is, so this is the two input A and B. Okay, and so here this A is added with this small circle, it indicates the adder. Okay, so in this thing, the A input as well as this B is multiplied with the total factor Wn power R and Wn power R into B. Okay, these two signals are added here. So we can get the output capital A. So capital A is equal to A plus Wn to the power R into B. Okay, similarly in bottom line, what is the output we are getting means the small a multiplied with, so you see in this line B multiplied with Wn power R multiplied with -1. So that's why capital B equal to A minus Wn power R into B. Okay, so this is the output obtained from the DIT FFT, basic butterfly diagram. Similarly, in this also the same diagram, but what is the difference means? So here in DIT algorithm, the total factor is multiplied, this Wn power R is multiplied with the input before that is given to this butterfly diagram. But here after calculating the butterfly value, we have to multiply with Wn power R. So anyway, the values, so you see, so here the capital A equal to small a plus small b. Okay, so here this B is equal to A minus B into Wn power R. Okay, so you see the output. So this output is different. In DIT algorithm, this capital A and B value is different. In diff algorithm, the capital A and B value is different. Okay, so this is the basic butterfly diagram used in DIT algorithm and diff algorithm. Okay, so already we solved the big question and 4 mark, 8 mark, 13 mark problem using DIT FFT and diff FFT. Several problems we solved in our video. So if you want to learn the lecture videos related to the subject, discrete time signal processing and digital signal processing, so in the name of that particular subject, the playlist is there. In that playlist, all videos are available in order. Okay, so I will give link for those playlists in the description box. You can refer it. Then the next question, what is meant by bit reversal? Okay, so already you know in a DIT FFT algorithm, the input sequence X of n is applied in bit reversed order. In diff FFT algorithm, the output we received from the diff algorithm, you know, that output is in bit reversed order. Okay, so what is bit reversal? Okay, that is the question. So in case of DIT FFT algorithm, the input sequence X of n applied in bit reversed order. Okay, so what is bit reversed order means? For example, you take the 3 bit n2, n1, n0. Here n0 is a lower bit, n2 is a higher bit. Okay, so for the data, the bit reversed value of the particular n is, you just interchange. Okay, so the most significant bit, it will come to least significant side, and the least significant side bit is come to most significant bit. So you read in reverse. Okay, bit reversed means you read in reverse. So n0, n1, n2. So you see, so n0, n1, n2 is a bit reversed version of n2, n1, n0. Okay, so this means that the sequence X of 0, X of 1, X of 2, X of 3, X of 4, 5, 6 will be shuffled as, so what is the index corresponding to 0? 0. So if you are shuffling 0, we can get 0 only. Similarly, what is the index? 1. Okay, so 1 we can write in 3 bit as 0, 0, 1. So this 0, 0, 1, we have to reverse it. So if you are reading in reverse, we can get 1, 0, 0. So what is 1, 0, 0? 1, 0, 0, it is nothing but in binary, it is a 4. Okay, so we have to, so this bit reversed order of X of 0, X of 1, 2, up to 7 is X of 0, X of 4, X of 2, X of 6, then X of 1, 5, 3, and 7. Okay, after bit reversing. So you have to read the index value in reverse. Okay, we have to write the index value in reverse means we can get one number. That number we have to give. So this is called as a bit reversing. So for X of 1, bit reversed is X of 4. For X of 2. So X of 2 means if you are writing 2 in binary, we can get 0, 1, 0. So if you are reversing the thing also, we can get 0, 1, 0. So same X of 2. Similarly, x of 3, if we are bit reversing, we can get x of 6. Similarly, we can do. Okay, so this is said to be the bit reversal. Okay, so in DIT FFT algorithm, so the input applied to the algorithm is in bit reversed manner. Okay, but the output we got it from the DIT algorithm is in the natural order. But in diff algorithm, it is reverse. Input applied as natural order. Output we taken from the diff algorithm is in a bit reversed order. Okay, so this is also a two-time April 2011 and 14 question. Okay, then the next question, compute the number of multiplication required in the computation of 32-point DFT using FFT. So already we discussed similar to this question, but for various data, 64-point DFT, 8-point, or generally capital N point DFT, how many multiplications, additions needed, we discussed. So that question is also a very important thing. Repeated question. Okay, in one year they can change this n value. Okay, so already you know generally the number of multiplication required for the calculation of DFT in FFT algorithm is that, okay, in FFT algorithm is that n by 2 log n to the base 2. Okay, this is the formula. So you substitute the n value here. What is the n here? 32. So 32 divided by 2, 16. So 16 log 32 to the base 2. Okay, so how can you calculate this answer? This log 32. So this 32, you have to write it in 2 to the power. If you are expressing 32 in 2 to the power means we can get 2 to the power 5. Okay, then this power 5, you give it to here. So 16 into 5 log 2 base 2. What is the answer for log base 2? Log 2 base 2, it is 1. So 16 into 5, the answer is 80. So 80 multiplications are required in order to compute the 32-point DFT in FFT algorithm. But in the case of ordinary computation method means that needed n squared, 32 into 32. 32 squared computations needed in direct evaluation. Okay, so this is one of the question. Then the next thing, what is mean by in place in DIT algorithm and diff algorithm, or what is in place computation? Okay, so what is in place computation in DIT and diff algorithm? So this question also repeated 3 times, 10, 13 and 14. So in place algorithm. So you see, you know, this is the butterfly diagram for DIT FFT algorithm. Similarly, you know the butterfly diagram for diff also. So already we discussed in previous question, you know, this is for the butterfly diagram of diff. This is for the butterfly diagram of DIT. Okay, so here for example, we are taking DIT FFT algorithm. So in that, so you see, this is a small a and small b is an input applied, that is x of n to that algorithm. Capital A and capital B is the output of this algorithm. Okay, so here the capital A equal to A plus Wn power r into B. Capital B equal to A minus Wn power r into B. Okay, so once this capital A value and capital B value is calculated, so in order to store this capital A value and capital B value, okay, so we are not at all using the separate memory location. This capital A value is stored in memory location as, so already the small a stored in one memory location, you know, in that memory location only the capital A value is stored. Similarly, this capital B is stored in the memory location in small b location. Okay, so that's why it reduces the number of, that is why we are storing here means, so after calculating this capital A and capital B from small a and small b, this AB value, the small b value is not at all used, okay, in any stage. So that's why we are, that is this answer for this butterfly diagram is stored in the same memory location. So this reduces the number of memory location. That's why this DIT algorithm and diff algorithm is called as in place algorithm or in place computation. Okay, so you see here, figure shows the butterfly diagram of DIT FFT algorithm. So from the figure, it can observe that capital A and capital B are calculated from small a and b. Okay, hence capital A and capital B can be stored in place of small a and small b. Okay, since small a and small b are not required further. Okay, once this capital AB calculation is over, the small a small b value is not needed. Okay, so that's why we are storing in the place of that one. So this is called in place computation. So what is the need for this in place computation? It reduces the advantage. The advantage is that the advantage of the in place computation, it reduces the number of memory locations. Okay, this is the thing. Then the next question, what are the differences and similarities between DIT and DIF algorithm? Okay, so in FFT, there are two algorithms, is that DIT algorithm, DIF algorithm. What is the difference and similarity? So in DIT algorithm, the time domain sequence is decimated. Okay, so the X of n sequence is decimated. In DIF algorithm, the capital X of k is decimated. That is, the frequency domain value is decimated. Okay, then the input sequence is given in bit reversed order. Okay, so already you know, in DIT FFT algorithm, the input X of n is bit reversed, and that bit reversed data is applied as an input to the DIT algorithm. Okay, but output is in natural order. But in DIF, the output is in bit reversed order, input is not shuffled, natural order. Okay, then in DIT algorithm, first calculate the 2-point DFT and we have to combine them. Okay, but that is in DIT algorithm, first 2-point DFT, then 4-point DFT, 8-point DFT, and so on. But in DIF, reverse. Okay, so first 8-point DFT, then 4-point DFT, then 2-point DFT. So it decimates the sequence step by step to 2-point sequence and calculate the DFT. In DIF, the last stage is 2-point DFT. In DIT, first stage is a 2-point DFT. Okay, then it is suitable for calculating inverse DFT. So DIT algorithm and DIF algorithm, both the thing is used to find inverse DFT as well as the inverse DFT as well as the DFT. We can use this method, but DIT FFT is more suitable for to calculate the inverse DFT. This DIF algorithm is more suitable for calculating the DFT. Okay, so this is the theme behind the thing. And similarly, the same question, what are the differences and similarities between DIT and DIF? Okay, instead of writing this table format, you can write this also. So you see the difference. The difference is the input is bit reversed. Okay, while the output is in natural order for DIT. Similarly, for DIF, output is bit reversed, input is in natural order. Okay, it is the one thing. Then DIF butterfly diagram is slightly different from DIT butterfly. The difference being that the complex multiplication takes place after the addition subtraction process. Okay, so you see in you see the butterfly, this is for DIF. Okay, so you see here in DIT algorithm, this multiplication, okay, multiplication means this total factor is multiplied with a and we are adding. But in DIF algorithm, after addition subtraction, we are multiplying with the total factor. Okay, so that is another one difference. In DIF algorithm, complex multiplication takes place after the addition subtraction process. Okay, similarity is that both algorithm require same number of operation to compute the DFT. That is, number of multiplication used is n by 2 log n. Okay, number of addition used is n log n. Okay, both DIT and DIF algorithm uses the same number of operation to compute the DFT. And both algorithm can be done in place. Okay, in place means, you know, okay, so once the answer is calculated, that answer is stored in the same input data memory location, not separate. That is the in place. Okay, so the in place algorithm we discussed previous question, and both need to perform bit reversal at some place during computation. So you know, in DIT algorithm, the bit reversal will happen in input side. In DIF algorithm, bit reversal will happen in an output side. Okay, so this is the difference and similarity between DIT and DIF. Either you may write this one or this one also. Then the next question, what is decimation in time algorithm? That is what is DIT algorithm. So the computation of 8-point DFT using radix to DIT FFT involves 3 stages of computation. Okay, so 8 means the 8 can be expressed as 2 to the power 3. That power 3 indicates the number of stages. So if you want to perform 8-point DFT means 3 stages are needed. If it is a 16-point means 4 stages. 4-point means 2 stages. Okay, that is the capital N we have to express as 2 to the power M, where M is the number of stages required to perform n-point DFT. Okay, so for that the given 8-point sequence is decimated to 2-point sequence. Okay, then each 2-point sequence, for each 2-point sequence we have to calculate 2-point DFT. Then from the result of 2-point DFT, the 4-point DFT can be computed. Okay, and from the result of 4-point DFT, the 8-point DFT can be computed. Okay, this is happened in decimation in time algorithm. That is, first we are dividing the 8 data into 4 2-point sequences. Okay, so for each 2-point sequences, we have to find the DFT value. Then 2 answers we have to combine into one 4-point DFT. Then 2 4-point DFT we have to combine into 8-point answer. Okay, so that is nothing but a decimation in time algorithm. So the given sequence, the small x of 0, 1, 2, 3, which consists of the 8 samples. Okay, then the next one, what is decimation in frequency algorithm? So this frequency algorithm, it is reverse to that of the decimation in time algorithm. So here, first we are doing 8-point butterfly, then 4-point butterfly, then 2-point butterfly. Okay, but in DIT, first 2-point, then 4-point, then 8-point. But in DIF, first 8-point. Okay, if it is a 8-point DFT means first 8-point, then 4-point, then 2-point. Okay, so here in decimation in frequency algorithm, the frequency domain sequence capital X of K is decimated. Okay, so in this method, the output DFT sequence capital X of K is divided into smaller sequences. Okay, into smaller sequences. This is the difference. Then the next question, how will you perform linear convolution using circular convolution? Okay, so already we studied the linear convolution in signals and system. We studied the circular convolution in digital signal processing. Okay, so in the circular convolution, there are 2 methods, graphical method and matrix multiplication methods are there. Okay, so we solved some circular convolution problems in the lecture videos. Okay, and how to perform linear convolution using circular convolution. Okay, so we can perform linear convolution via circular convolution using the 2 method, overlap save method and overlap add method. Okay, let the length of x of n is L and the length of h of n sequence is M. So in order to perform the convolution, we needed 2 data, input sequence and impulse response, x of n, h of n. If the x of n is having the length L, length means number of samples available in the particular sequence, and the length of h of n is M. So then the linear convolution of x of n and h of n can be obtained through the following steps. Okay, so what does the thing means? So first we have to append x of n with m minus 1 zeros. Okay, that means in order to do the circular convolution, the length of both the data, okay, length of x and length of h, it should be equal. But if the x is having the length L, h is having the length m means, so we have to make both the sequence length as L plus m minus 1. Okay, so in order to make x of n length as L plus m minus 1, we have to add m minus 1 zeros. Okay, similarly, append h of n with L minus 1 zero. Okay, similarly, in order to make the length of h of n as L plus m minus 1, we have to add L minus 1 zero. That is zero padding we have to perform. Okay, so now both the sequence is having the length L plus M minus 1 equally. Okay, so after that, you just perform circular convolution of the above sequence. We can get the linear convolution output. Okay, so now you got one output, you know, that output is the linear convolution output. Okay, this is the procedure in order to obtain the linear convolution output via the method circular convolution. Okay, then the next thing, distinguish between linear and circular convolution of the two sequence. So you see, linear convolution, if the x of n sequence of L number of sample, h of n sequence with m number of sample, after convolution, the output y of n will contain the sample as L plus m minus 1. Okay, already you know, if the two sequences, first sequence is having the length L, second sequence is having the length m, means the output sequence, the linear convoluted output is having the sequence length is L plus m minus 1. But in circular convolution, both the sequence should have the same length. Okay, if x of n is a sequence of length L, h of n is a sequence of length m, means after convolution, y of n will contain the maximum of L comma m. Okay, maximum of in L and m, which one is greater, that number of sample is available in y of n. Okay, so in circular convolution, both the sequence must have equal number of sample. If not, that means we have to append some zeros in the particular thing and we have to perform. The next one, linear convolution can be used to find the response of linear filter. Okay, it is used to find the response of linear filter. Circular convolution cannot be used to find the response of the filter. That is, the output y is nothing but the input x of n linear convolution with h of n. Okay, but x of n circular convolution with h of n is not the answer for y of n. Okay, that is the thing. Then zero padding is not necessary to find the response of the linear filter. Okay, the sequence, the two sequence, it should have either equal length or unequal length. Okay, so zero padding is not necessary, but zero padding is necessary to find the response. Okay, so compulsory we have to add 0 in order to make the two sequence length is equal. So zero padding is necessary in circular convolution. Okay, this is the difference between linear and circular convolution. And the next question, what is mean by sectioned convolution? Okay, sectioned convolution. So the overlap save and overlap add method, it is under the category of sectioned convolution. So what is sectioned convolution means? If the input sequence x of n is of long duration. Okay, we are going to, that is, we have to find the response of the filter, but the input sequence is of very long duration, means it is very difficult to obtain the output y of n due to the limited memory of digital computer. Okay, so at the time, therefore, the data sequence is divided into small sections. Okay, so these sections are processed separately, one at a time, and we have to combine later to get the output. It is called as a sectioned convolution. If x of n is having 10 data mean, we have to split the x of n into 3 samples. Okay, this is called as a section. So this each smaller section, we have to perform the circular convolution. Then we have to combine all the outputs in a proper manner, means we can get the output. Okay, that method is called as a sectioned convolution. Then what are the two methods used for sectioned convolution? Okay, one is overlap add method and overlap save method. So these methods are the two types of sectioned convolution. Already we solved okay, the 4 problems related to this overlap add and save method. It's a very important big question. Okay, so if you want to learn that problem means in our channel, in the name of discrete time signal processing, one playlist is there, or digital signal processing, the playlist is there. In that playlist, that videos, okay, all that lecture videos are solved. Okay, the problems for Anna University questions related to this topic is solved, you can learn. Okay, I will give link for that playlist as well as this video in the description box. You can refer it. And the last question, state the difference between overlap save method and add method. So the difference, there are two methods in order to perform the sectioned convolution. In overlap save method, the size of input data block is capital N equal to L plus M minus 1. Okay, the input size is L plus M minus 1. But in overlap add method, the input data block is capital L. Then each data block consists of last M minus 1 data points from the previous data block followed by L new data points. Okay, so this is already we explained in that particular problem in a very detailed manner. Okay, so if you want to remember this, you go and watch that video. Okay, that problem video, I will give a link in the description box, you can see. Similarly, in overlap add, each data block is L point and we can append M minus 1 0 to compute the endpoint DFT. Then here in each output block, M minus 1 points are corrupted due to aliasing. Okay, here there is no corruption due to aliasing. So linear convolution is performed using the circular convolution. Okay, then to form the output sequence, the first M minus 1 data points are discarded in each output block and remaining data are fitted together. Okay, so in order to find the final output, we have to discard the first M minus 1 data points from each sectioned output Y1, Y2, Y3 and remaining we have to combine it. But here in overlap add method, in order to form the output sequence, the last M minus 1 points from each output block is added to the first M minus 1 points of the succeeding block. Okay, this is the comparison between overlap save method and overlap add method. Okay, so already this procedure is given detailedly in the lecture video, you can see. Okay, so these are all the questions related with the first unit, discrete Fourier transform and circular convolution, linear convolution and sectioned convolution. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos and press the bell notification button, then only you can get notification once I am posting the video. Okay, so that is if you want to learn the lecture videos related with this subject, DSP, signals and systems, circuit analysis, transmission lines, and antenna and microwave engineering, electronic circuits too, in my channel, the MCQ video as well as the lecture videos are available for that subject in a separate playlist. You can learn. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next video.